Hey guys, just a brief update before we start the video. Part 1 of this video has already been uploaded, so don't miss on all the rich information. Do check that out before you watch this video. And if you already watched the first episode, stay tuned as this episode will be more fun than the first one. With that, let's enjoy the episode. So I'm pretty sure there were some red flags and green flags that you looked for while finding an investor. So could you please take us through what are those red and green flags?
This is good. This is good. Yeah. One of the naive mistake that first-time founders would do, and I'm a first-time founder, is that taking money from anyone and everyone, right? Because you'll be like, oh, I'm in college. These guys are giving me money, 50 lakhs. Oh my God. And just taking that money, not realizing the responsibilities that come with it, not realizing the paperwork and contracts and clauses that come with it, right? And I think that'll be a very huge mistake to make. We were about to make a lot of these mistakes, but then since we had good advisors, we did not. But then be very careful about whom you're getting this money from, right? There are some investors who will be super liberal. They'll allow you to do your own thing. There'll be some investors who will interfere a lot and mess a lot of things up for you. So it all depends on, what kind of investors you take. I would really say do not take money from desi investors, as in like people into traditional businesses and people who don't understand how most startups work. Like if they are just concerned about your P&L statement and they're like, why are you making so much of losses? Why aren't you making profits? If they're asking just questions like that and not understanding the big picture, then that's not really the kind of investors you want to work with. You want to work with investors who understand your vision. You want to work with investors who know what you're building and they themselves are really passionate about it, right? Investors who give ideas themselves and are like, hey, you can maybe try this out or that out. Not investors who put in money and they're like, acha, 10-5 saal baad double ho jayega mera paisa. Like that's not the kind of investors you want to work with. So be super careful and also look into like the clauses that come with it. Like every time you raise an investment, there are different clauses, right? So there are few investors who even put your personal capacity at stake. Like in case things go wrong, you might personally be liable. That's not the kind of investors you want to work with, right? So be super careful about what kind of contracts you're signing. But then, yeah, top tier VCs, Sequoia, Nexus, Lightspeed, or Matrix, Shira, Tate kind of VCs, they are very liberal. They understand founders and they understand startups. So you should not have a major issue if you're raising from them. But if it's from a lower tier VC, then just read the contracts well, have a good lawyer, and then go about it.
Okay. And if we ask about the team, how you build, because in that initial stages, building the team who are the same page as you is very important. So what are the flags, red and green flags, look while you're making a team?
So I would say in terms of building a team, right? My philosophy has been to actually work with the person for at least 2-3 months before hiring them full time. And I really feel that's important because more than the skills that they bring in, it's about how well they gel in with you, right? How well do they work with you? You have to go through a lot of ups and downs. Like my co-founder and I, we fight. We might have said the worst things to each other, but then ultimately we just work together because the next day everything is pretty much sorted. So you don't want to work with people. So like you should be going through all these phases of ups and downs. If you're working with them for a month and if you think, oh wow, everything is nice, we're in la la land, and you end up hiring them full time and the second month things go down south, then you'll be in trouble, right? So to understand that person very well, it's like a marriage. It's like dating someone and understanding how good or bad of a person they are, right? So that's important. So like even right now when we are hiring full-time folks, we do a 1-month probation period where they work with us on a project, and only after that we end up hiring them. I mean, the probation is paid, of course, but like we don't be like it's full time. It's like, hey, look, it's a 1-month probation. We'll pay you XYZ, but only if we like your work and only if we think you fit in the team culture, you'll be continuing from the second month. So if they fit in the team culture for the first month, then second month we roll out a full-time offer.
Okay. So I mean, like even the people would have gauged a lot of insights on BlueLearn.
Exactly, it goes both ways, right? It goes both
right.
ways. So even employees might be like, oh, that's probably not the company I want to work with. It's not the problem that I want to solve. It's not exciting enough. They have all the rights to say that as well. So it goes both ways.
Correct. Yeah. Also, like, nowadays we hear in news like a lot of big companies, for example, like Byju's we take, they are acquiring a lot of startups. So in future, do you have plans, to accept offers from big companies when it comes to acquiring, or how should startup owners go about it?
I would say right now it's very early for us to even think about acquisition because we are in this product market fit journey. We can't sell a Discord server, right? That's not really the aim right now. Right now, we want to build something that's scalable, something that's solving a problem, something that's viral among students, and then scale it up. And when it comes to acquisitions, it's not as easy as it seems, right? It's first of all, India in itself is not a liquid market. Like M&As, mergers and acquisitions in India are not as common as it is in China or the US. India, when acquisition hota hai, to it's in the news. It's like massive. But in the US, there are so many acquisitions happening every single day that a lot of them don't even show up in the news, right? So first of all, getting acquired in India is in itself a task. Secondly, you should never run a company with the aim of getting acquired. It's a thing that just happens. If you should be looking at your revenues, you should be looking at how well you can be, how well of a business can you be independently, no matter acquisition happens or not. And when offers are rolled out, then that's something that we can think about later, because even acquisition is not as simple as saying, hey, I'll give you X amount of money and you give me your product or team. It's not as easy as that, right? There are a lot of things that go behind it. Few founders are supposed to be working at that company for the next 5 years, or sometimes it's an acqui-hire offer where they just take your team. Sometimes they get the product but not the team. Sometimes it's an IP acquisition where they just take your product. So it's a very complicated process. But yeah, I mean, sometime in the future, if it's something that aligns with our vision, like the company that's going to acquire us, if it's something that aligns with our vision, and if we really want to get acquired, then we might go ahead with it. But if we think that we can do well as an independent business and don't necessarily want to get acquired, we see an IPO or something in the future, then probably might not. But it's too early to even comment on those things.
Yeah, even I agree, because many people they start because they feel like they want to get associated and acquired by big companies. I mean, that should not be the primary focus when you start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm pretty sure you must be going a lot of lows and ups, and sometimes you want an unbiased opinion from someone from like a third party, someone from outside of BlueLearn. So who comes to your help at that time?
I told you about my inspirations, right? It's the same people who come to help me at that time. So it's good to have inspirations who actually come out there and help you out, because like that's the reason why I look up to them, right? It's because they are so helpful in terms of the advice that they give, in terms of just brainstorming with you and things like that.
Yeah. So I mean, like, having this healthy environment around where, you help each other and give advices is really very important, because should not really look like, it's like, competitive and a rivalry, because at this point, everyone is helping each other. And even as a startup, your aim is to help the community out there. Right now at this stage, how do you really define success? How do you really evaluate that you're going in the right direction? Because it's too early to see the metrics, or it's very early to see the outside world's success meters. So how do you actually know that you're in the right direction?
That's a very good question, but the only person who can tell us if we are in the right direction is our customers, right? If they are using our product, like I call this a lifestyle intervention. If in a course of their day, our products comes in the middle, like if 30 minutes or 40 minutes they use our product on a daily basis, if they visit a Discord server, or if they come for one of our events, or if they check out WhatsApp groups, if one of that intervention is happening every single day, then that means we're doing something right, because people value their time. Now people can spend that time partying, people can spend that time going to the mall, people can spend that time studying. There's so many things you can do with your time, right? But if BlueLearn is coming into their life every single day at some point in time, that means we are having some sort of impact, right? So that's what we measure, like in terms of engagement. How long is a person engaging with us? How much exposure are we getting as a brand in front of someone? And how, like if it's useful only, then they'll actually come for whatever we do, right? Either be clubs or events or competitions or things like that. So yeah, I would say engagement in terms of number of minutes spent per person per day is what we are measuring. If that increases, then it means we are doing something right.
Okay. And what, according to you, do you think is BlueLearn's most significant achievement right now?
Oh, I would not say funding at all. Like, never ever say funding is an achievement, because it just helps you. I've told this a lot of times. It just helps you reach your goal faster. It doesn't help you. It doesn't like solve the problem. It would not make you rich. It would not, you know, like change your product much. Like, everything will remain pretty much the same. Only the rate at which you do things increases a lot, right? You get resources to hire more. You get resources to buy softwares that you were not able to afford earlier, or things like that. It just gives you that leeway, that ability to experiment a lot, but then it's not going to solve the problem for you. Money does not solve problems. So at least for us, the achievement that we see is building community first. Like, there are so many startups today saying that they are community based, but then very few actually execute on the community, right? Very few have an engaged community. And we have been really lucky. Like, kudos to our community members for participating. We have an engaged community. People come here often, and people love coming here, and that's what we want to keep growing. So yeah, I think that's the one thing that we did right, and I would call it I wouldn't call it an achievement. I would just call it a good start. It's a very long way to go.
So, like, what would be your more immediate top priority, like, your to-do list? What would be your next plan of action in BlueLearn?
We want to make this very exciting events, clubs platform. So just launching more clubs, launching anything that engages audience live and just gives them some sort of value in their life. So in terms of like immediate goals, it will be launching clubs. We're launching quiz club and music club pretty soon. So that'll be like at the top of the checklist.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So, like, providing knowledge, insights with sort of interactive, in an interactive manner is what I think. Even in like everywhere now, this new term has come: entertainment plus information, infotainment. So I mean, like, congratulations to you and all the very best. Now that
Thanks, man.
we've come to an end of this podcast, any parting words that you would like to part to our young entrepreneurs watching this? Any piece of advice you'd like to give them?
Yeah, I'd say keep building side projects and don't be afraid to code. Like right now, I used to code a year back, and those were like some of the best times. Right now, I'm not coding, but I'm trying to get back into it, not getting time for it. But then, by the way, not everyone has to code. That's not something that I'm saying, but just learning to build stuff, right? Now, this could be learning to design on Figma, or learning to ideate good products and draw them, or it could be even coding, like just learning to build stuff and being part of the entire process is phenomenal. So no need of building a startup. Maybe that could be a thing you can do, but then work on side projects and work on a lot of side projects. And one day these side projects might become into full-fledged businesses. So even if you take up a job, you'll have this money-making machine on the side, which helps you survive. So yeah, that's what I would say. Just gather a bunch of smart friends, start building side projects, and also be part of good communities like BlueLearn.
Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure BlueLearn's going to do big. I really understand and stand by the BlueLearn's vision, and all the very best. Thank you for your time. Thank you for showing
Thank you
up
so
on
much,
this
too.
podcast. And that was the podcast, guys. We promised you, didn't we? We are here to connect you with the young entrepreneurs and industry experts so that they can share their experiences and current age problems and how they tackle them, so that you can pave your path easily. And if you still haven't subscribed, do let us know in the comment section, because we are here to improve. And until next time, this is Priyank Arora signing off.